This week's Parashas, Parashas Emor, deals with a topic that goes to the foundation of relating to people. In a real way, not a fake way, to really be aware in a genuine way of their emotions and their sensitivities. The Parsha says, Emor el Kohanim b'nei Aaron. Speak to the Kohanim b'nei Aaron. There is a very big omission here, which is why is Aaron himself left out? Skipping over Aaron, the Torah says, command the Kohanim, the b'nei Aaron, different halachas about tumas meis, about not becoming tummy when somebody dies. Now, what's going on here? An amazing idea. When Klal Yisrael and Rekabel the Torah, when we received the Torah at Har Sinai, we said Nasa v'nishma. When we said Nasa v'nishma, we became free from the Malach HaMavis. We became free from death. We returned to the level of Adam Harishon before the sin. And then, when we did the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf, the Malach HaMavis had shlita, had koyach, had power over us again. Death came back to Klal Yisrael. Aaron HaKayin had a very, very small role in that. A small role, but he did have a role and he felt horrible about it. He was partially responsible for death of Klal Yisrael, for death in Klal Yisrael. He felt horrible, and for sure he did tshuva, intense tshuva that we couldn't even imagine. Now, when a Kadosh Baruch Hu comes to command the Kohanim that they shouldn't go become tamei for people when they die, when they are mason, when they die, the Kadosh Baruch Hu did not want to awaken even the slightest amount of pain in the heart of Aaron HaKayin. So instead of commanding Aaron and the Kohanim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded just the Kohanim, his children, and didn't mention Aaron openly, because Hashem didn't want to cause that pain. He didn't want to awaken that pain. This week I totally failed in this idea. I was teaching in seminary and I was talking about health tips, specifically about what food is healthy and what's not healthy. And after the class, I was talking about simple things like what's healthy, what's not healthy, and chewing your food and drinking water, getting enough sleep. But unfortunately, today, people sometimes have problems with eating, and it goes to a very deep place in their hearts and affects them, causes them a lot of pain. So a girl came to me afterwards and said, Rabbi, I'm not sure you should give a class like that. And I could see her eyes were filled with tears. I don't think I said anything so controversial, but that doesn't matter. Today, it's important to be sensitive to people when you talk about food and eating. I didn't speak about weight or anything like that. I just spoke simply just about eating the healthy way. But I failed that test, and I could see from this girl's eyes, and it was so much so that I missed the point that the head of the seminary called me up and said, you know what, you can't teach that class. I know you're going to give a part 2, you can't do it. You can't do that publicly. I completely missed the point. When you deal with people, it's critically important to find out, am I triggering them? Be aware. Look at them. Hear the tone of their voice. See the expression on their face. Feel the pain in the heart. If this is causing them pain, I have to speak in a different way. I can't do it that way. Now, there's a wonderful story about a 9-year-old boy who hit this perfectly. He passed the test. Not like I did. I failed, but he passed the test perfectly. He loved his grandfather very, very much. And his grandfather became sick. And his grandfather eventually was nifter, died. And he was sick from Yana Machla. Rahman al-Islam, he was sick from cancer, Rahman al-Islam. Several months later, he was with his grandmother. Just he and his grandmother spent the afternoon together. They weren't a religious family, and the grandmother had the TV on, the television on the table, and she's watching something. The grandmother was in the kitchen, looking now and then at the TV, but the child was sitting and watching the TV, and she's with her he's with her. So he suddenly notices on the TV a picture of a man who's very sick and looks a lot like his grandfather. And he says, oh, it looks like my grandfather. Oh, my grandmother's going to see it. It's going to cause her pain. So instantly he turned the channel to something else. He turned the channel. The old days was that an old channel like that. He instantly turned the channel. And his grandmother said, what are you changing the channel for? He said, oh, no, I don't know. And it was clear to the grandmother that that's not like the way this boy acts. He's a mature grandson. He never acts this way. She said, what happened? He said, I'm sorry. There was something there I thought maybe that would make you feel bad. What was it? Something that looked like Grandpa. And he felt bad. And he wanted to make sure his grandmother didn't feel bad like that either, which he knew that she did. So she was touched. Wow, my 9-year-old grandson cares so much about me and is so sensitive to me that he quickly ran to switch the channel. And she gave him a hug and they cried together. 2 of them cried together. It's such a touching example of the sensitivity that a Kadosh Baruch Hu wants us to have for other people. You see, you've pressed a little button there. You got to change that channel. You got to say, I'm sorry. I saw, and if you know that channel, something on the channel is going to cause someone pain, you got to do what you can to avoid that. Kodesh Baruch Hu, in the Torah HaKadosha, in the eternal Torah, didn't say this directly to Aaron because he didn't want to arouse even the smallest amount of pain in the heart of a great tzaddik like Aaron, a person who was quite mature and very strong, who could handle all kinds of things. But ad kedei kach, that's how far it goes, that Kodesh Baruch Hu wants us to be sensitive to other people. Be'ezras Hashem, we should all rise to this and be more sensitive and really, really learn how to relate to other people in a way that Kodesh Baruch Hu gets a lot of nachas.